I am back with another chit chat for you, thinking about how guilt pervades the mother's mind. And as parents, especially mothers, we hold a lot of guilt for our children. When your children, well, I think at all stages, I was going to say when your children are younger, maybe not so much, but yeah, there's guilt around going to work and leaving a baby. Did I breastfeed and I wanted to bottle feed, or vice versa? There's just a lot of guilt as we have when we have our children and just the different stages of their lives. Right now, my oldest is 19, so I haven't been a mother for that long, but 19 years I say is a fairly long time. And I can say for myself that I have felt guilt throughout my children's upbringing. And I can say like at some points there was like massive guilt, especially when they were little. Just the want to do everything right, not to, damage them, not to, just the things that all mothers think of. We want to make our children have the easiest life possible if we can. And it's just not realistic. It's just not realistic. So I had to really let go of the thought of I'm going to make my children trauma free. That was my thing when I had my kids. Like, I don't want them to have any trauma. I want them to work on this world and be, great. And it's just not realistic. You're going to spend so much of your time trying to make a soft cushion for them is that it's going to stress you out, and then it's going to also not have them to have reality of what life really is. If we try to keep them close to us all the time and not let them see the world, not let them be out amongst other children who may say things that's not nice to them or not treat them well, right? That's just the reality of living in this world, because at some point, at some part of their life, you're gonna have to let go, either willingly or unwillingly, right? Either they'll like, I wanna go to college, or I wanna move out, or whatever it is. We can't hold them so close anymore. When they're little, they wanna be all up under us. We are, everything to them. But then as they start to grow, they start to gain their independence, and we have to allow it, And so dealing with that is dealing with our own guilt around our parenting, and know that whatever decisions that we have made is the right decision. And I think that's the thing that we have so much guilt around, or like so much judgment around. I want to say judgment is like we don't trust that the decisions that we're making for our children are right, and they are. If you decide to go to work and not stay at home, that's the right decision, and your children will adjust, and so will you. And so if you want to make your judgments from guilt, right, or feeling bad, then it's just not going to be a good place to decide things, right? And so if you decide like I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom, right, and that's the decision that you make, nor society or yourself should make you feel bad about this. This is a decision I make for my children, and I feel like this is a good one. And whether people agree or don't agree, if this is something that you have decided, then you stand in that, and you're like, this is the decision that I want for myself and my children, and it's good, And so when you come with that confidence with each thing that you do, it'll make it easier, and it'll also help your children to feel safe around those decisions, right? Because if you're always second guessing yourself, or today we're going to do bedtime at 8 o'clock and tomorrow we'll do it at 9, the kids also feel very insecure around those things, right? And it's just, we're not going to do everything perfectly. We're not going to get it right. And that's okay. I think that's the beauty in it all, right? It's like doing your best is the best, right? When you do your best, when you want and you hope and you intend for good, then whatever else falls, it just does, right? And it's, so many times I made decisions and I didn't always feel like it was the best decision, but it was just like, okay, this is the decision that I made, and now I have to live by it, right? And it's kids in hand, and sometimes they're kicking and screaming, and I was like, I know, right? Doesn't look good. We're jumping out of a plane with no parachute, but mommy got you. And so it's just when you walk in that confidence, they will walk in confidence too. We don't have a parachute, but we're gonna be good. And your children follow suit. And so I just say all that to say is like, when you make decisions for your children, know that it is the right one, whatever it is, right? I don't want my children eating dairy products. That's you, right? You don't want to do it. People could say, oh, children got to have this amount of calcium and that's not good and blah, 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 blah. You do you, right? And let me be clear, as long as it's not harmful to your kids, and there's plenty of ways to work around, just an example, but there's plenty of ways to work around children having calcium in other ways versus milk, right? That's just, that's just a argument that a lot of people have. It's like, and we're not going to go down that monkey road of dairy and all this kind of stuff, but I'm just trying to hone in a point of your decisions are the right decisions, and so if you feel, and there's because I have my own thoughts around parenting, and they're not all right, but this is how I feel. Like for me, co-sleeping was not a thing that I wanted to do. I didn't want to co-sleep with my kids. With my first daughter, her dad was more like wanting to put her in the bed, but that's just not something that I wanted to do. My second one was so clingy that I couldn't get her away, right? So you have a plan, but they also had their own mind. And so she definitely didn't want to leave the bed, and it would just be awful. So it was just like, okay, let her sleep, and and then having to pry out the room. And then with the third, same, she was a little bit easier, but she was more clingy, and I think at that time it was just kind of how it worked. So it's like, I didn't want to be a co-sleeper. Situations made me become a co-sleeper, but I didn't feel bad about that decision because there were plenty of people around me telling me the benefits of co-sleeping. Children need to sleep with you, they're small, they need to be close, but that was not my thing, And when I had my last child, I definitely stuck to that. Like, I kind of like swayed and weighed with the other ones, but with the last one, it was like really a clear-cut no for me. I mean, I'm gonna hold you, everything I need to do for you, and I gotta put you in your own bed. Like that was like just for me, it just was something that I just had to stand on. It just wasn't the thing that I wanted. I didn't want to have to fight with a toddler to put them in their bed. But then now, that has its own ways and sways, but it is what it is. So I encourage you. I applaud you as a mother, and I want to let you know to let the guilt go. Let it go, let it go. But as much as you can, it's okay. I'm doing a good job. I make the best decisions that I can for my children. And if you have a partner, and you guys come to decision-making things, and even if you do, the guilt is still there. I was going to say, if you talk about things, but even with that, the guilt is still stands in mothers, it stands with it. And I'm sure dads have guilt. I'm not taking guilt away from dads, but I know this is something that we carry strong as mothers. And then also as our children get older, speaking about them, and they're not going down paths that we would have wanted or maybe intended, is also, or things have happened to them. I'm also feeling guilt around those things, and if I would have done this, or maybe if I would have did this or not said this, then it would have been a different outcome. No, it is what it is. I'm releasing guilt around those things too. If you did make a mistake, right? Finding forgiveness for yourself and moving forward. But I just wanted to share that with you, encourage you to let the guilt go, to move on. You are awesome. You're doing great. Your children love you. We love you. And I will talk to you later.